I originally learned about the tap device because I had a repetitive strain injury and was basically not able to use my hands. So I learned very quickly that when you can't use your hands, how often you really do want to use your hands. And one of the biggest limitations that I couldn't find someone else to do for me was using my phone or using any sort of technology. And generally for texting and stuff, you also don't want to be telling other people what to text for you. And so I discovered the tap just as like what I could use in case of times that I was in a lot of pain and couldn't use my phone as usual. And at that point, it had some really cool features, but it wasn't really, it wasn't something that you could rely on for like regular typing and communication. And then I guess it would have been in December last year they came out with a program called Tap Mapper, which allowed you to input your own code basically. So I could tap any sort of finger combination I wanted, upload it onto Tap Mapper, and then use this as a keyboard with my own personalized inputs that I've chosen. And with that, I kind of realized that if I can do that and modify it for my own needs, why can I not use that and modify it for someone else's needs who might be even more specific and more limited than mine were? So that's where this all came from. So the very first thing we need to do is configure your switch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe
Alright. So we're just inputting a bunch of different taps just in case there's a variation in what finger hits when we're actually using it.
Yeah, we do.
And tap your hand. So the first thing we're going to do is a prompt assessment, which is basically, can you use the auditory prompts to list things or identify things on the screen? The program itself is called Sounding Boards. It works on the idea that there's a picture, you touch it, and it speaks something. It's nice because it's a really simplified version. It's tap to talk, and you can modify it pretty widely, which I like about it. The reason that I selected that particular app out of all of the other ones I chose, it allows for using the accessibility options already sort of built into the iPad, where when using a lot of the other AAC apps out there, they kind of override your base accessibility, which is really frustrating because it makes it wildly unpredictable what each app's going to do. Where this one, it actually even has the ability for me to access the switch control and all of the different features we're using to use the tap device right in the app. Or I can completely override all the base features of the app by using the accessibility features just in the iPad. So just a lot of choice. I think that this device and sort of this whole project is about expanding the range of options of AC that's available. When we think about like communication and like the last time you had to buy a cell phone, how many options there were and how many features you could choose from, you could really find that perfect choice for you that met all of your needs. And when you look at assistive communication, the range is super limited. If you have any needs that require any really specific features or really specific modifications, a lot of the apps that are out there won't allow for it. They are not compatible. A lot of the newer devices don't work with the older apps and vice versa. And what I loved about this particular device was that it worked with a wide range of apps. It's something that is so malleable in the ways you can use it, the ways you can modify it, that we could potentially use it for individuals with aphasia. We can use it for people with visual impairments. We can use it for people who have limited verbal communication. And it's something that is really, I guess, uninvasive when you look at a lot of the other devices that you need to sort of carry around with you. It fits on one hand. I think the next step with this is going to be teaching the combination of skills of being able to go through multiple levels in a board. As you saw in there, we were using just one single board, but being able to select a button and then have that open for more buttons. And that requires using 2 different input methods. And obviously there's some learning that goes along with being able to do that. Yeah, I think that's the next step.